go with the rest of the board? You want to go ahead and start, or would you like to wait for the
Now we could start.
Go ahead and start.
6:31.
I know what I missed. Without Val, I knew I missed something. But did you name class detail?
That's not very loud.
We might be able to dispense with those. I think we'll be okay. We'll be okay.
I think so.
And keeping me traded for knuckle.
So we do want, we still want to report. So I'm gonna-
Okay, yes. Yeah, so she gets all of the work. There you go. All right, are we on?
I will call to order this meeting of Snoqualmie Valley Hospital District Number 4. It is 6:52 on March 9th, 2017, and Commissioner Tucker is on his way. So the first part of our agenda is kind of like salute. If you want to join us in the public pledge, we salute our flag. I pledge.
Excuse me, what was that? I do a call, roll call first.
No.
Agenda.
No, I think it's after that.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now we will have a roll call. How many are going to do that? Anne's going to do that.
I'll just make a comment. Val's not here tonight. Val's daughter had a baby girl. This is Val's first granddaughter. It's baby Ruby. Ruby is healthy. Mom is healthy. Val's important. And Anne, thank you very much for doing our minutes tonight. Happy Tuesday.
President Norris. Here. Vice President Young. Here. Secretary Spikers. Commissioner Pollard.
Here.
Commissioner Hare.
Here. Okay, first we have public comment. Do we have anybody, and I want to remind everyone first before we go further, if you have cell phones, please turn them on vibrate or off. It's time for public comment. If anybody has public comment, please come forward.
Hi, my name is Scott Scobrock, and I live in West Seattle. Who in this room doesn't believe that the Snoqualmie Valley represents a very special place to work and live? And who in this room doesn't believe that the district's aspirational vision to make the Snoqualmie Valley the healthiest community in the nation? That vision represents the beauty of local control over local health care delivery and the reason to support Public Hospital District Number 4. What faces this Board of Commissioners today is the tricky exercise of threading the needle to both remain true to your local vision while operating in and affiliating within the larger medical community. In order to do this successfully, I feel that you need to be both courageous and demonstrate a measure of good old American entrepreneurship. But I fear you will fall short unless you are also able to liberate yourself from a persistent cloud of negativity. That is why I call for the early and voluntary resignation of Commissioner Pollard. It is, after all, Commissioner Pollard who attempted to deny the hospital its certificate of need in 2012. And to the best of my knowledge, he has never apologized for the cost or disruption that caused. With a new interim board member of your choosing, you'll be better able to find innovative and even inspired ways to meet the financial and other challenges that you face. Only then will you be in the best position and the best chance to truly make the Snoqualmie Valley the healthiest community in the nation. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? Hearing none, then we will move to approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Is there any discussion, correction, or any thoughts on the agenda? Okay, and we will vote. All those in favor of the agenda say aye. Aye. Opposed? Then none, and Commissioner Spikers has not yet. Yes. Okay, now we have approval of the minutes from February 9th, 2017, and February 22nd, 2017.
I move approval of minutes of February 9th.
Any discussion, any corrections? Hearing none, we will vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those that say no? I think it was unanimous. Did you vote aye? Aye. Okay. Now approval of the minutes for February 22nd, 2017. Is there a motion? I'll second. Is there any discussion or corrections? Hearing none, then we will vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, so both those items have passed. We are scheduled now for an executive session. Do we want to move on without Commissioner Spikers? I would like to know this.
That we reverse that and move until Commissioner Spikers. We ask the superintendent to make this report first.
May I suggest,
If there's no objection,
similarly, I suggest we do not.
yes,
That would be
yes, I believe it is. Okay, then why don't we go ahead and, do we have to vote? If there's no objection, then we will go ahead. I'm hearing none, then we will move on. Communications, I do not have any particular communications. I just want to encourage members to read their minutes of all the committees prior, so we don't have to have lengthy discussion. Come prepared with your questions and be prepared to discuss. Otherwise, we shouldn't need to reiterate everything in the minutes. Okay, you're on.
Thank you. Not in the written report that's provided to you in the public, but I will note that Dr. Whitcup is not here tonight. She is attending the board meeting for the Eastside Health Network. This is the clinically integrated network to which we belong. It is now an expanded clinically integrated network that includes both Emmanuel and that field. Includes Overlake and Evergreen.
I'd like the minutes to show that Commissioner Spikers is here.
Little trouble about 150, 200 yards from my house. Almost head-on collision. Two cars, pretty bad out there. I mean, so there was kind of two people before everybody came and kind of blocked everything. So,
To bring you up to speed, we are doing the communications right now.
Okay, thank you. Management, under affiliation strategy, management has been charged by the Board of Commissioners to develop an agreement with Hedner Advisory and Sarah K. Consulting to provide consultation services to the hospital in support of the strategy to seek affiliation. On the agenda this evening is management's recommendation to approve the agreement along with a resolution to authorize management to execute the agreement. We'll have more on that under that agenda item. With respect to finances, the financial report this evening will show that in January there was a net gain of $160,000 and positive cash flow of $438,000. The net gain budgeted for the month was $24,000. Our average daily census was 24.3 compared to a budget of 22. This occupancy rate was an occupancy rate of 97.2%. It is really hard to get higher than that. I'll just comment. Operating expenses were 1% above budget, and operating expenses per adjusted patient day were 6% below budget. The recent cost report showed the need for a Medicare payback and a reduction of net income for 2016 of $900,000. As a result, management has instituted monthly cost reporting to improve accuracy of our Medicare contractual adjustments. January's positive income of $160,000 includes an increase in the Medicare contractual adjustment, which reduces net patient service revenue, and that's based on the recent cost report. Management is currently working on a reforecast for 2017, which will take into account the impact of the Medicare cost report adjustment management responses. Let's read that as expenses that we can adjust and projections on some revenue, and the related change in our Medicare reimbursement rate on the 2017 projected net income. Management will report on the reforecast at our next finance committee meeting. February, just a preview, February inpatient volumes were on budget, but lower than January. Our ED volume in February was 9% below budget compared to 12% above budget in January. Census management, our social work department and our swing bed intake departments are working on a new process for coordination of discharges and admissions to reduce census fluctuation. What's happened is our discharge planning in our social work department has been very good at lowering length of stay through the discharge process. So we have more discharges happening a month. So coordinating those coming discharges with the coming admissions is more important to us than ever. And so we don't have drops in census. Our door-to-door campaign, I'm really happy to report that on the 4th of March, we conducted our first door-to-door campaign. Employees provided information on hospital and clinic services, those were the card packs that you all got copies of, to 638 households on the in the Snoqualmie Ridge area. All participants reported being well received by area residents, and we plan to conduct a similar campaign on the 18th. It was actually a lot of fun. Trauma, work continues, and boy, has work continued. I gotta tell you, our manager for ED, Chris Barnhart, I just talked with her today. She's been working weekends, long days, 16-hour days, and this application for trauma is really moving quickly, and it's a good thing. We are very excited about the trauma program. We believe the trauma program is going to greatly improve the position of ER volume with respect to getting us to where I really thought we could get. Sorry, I went on text there, but the application is expected to be submitted in April with a response back from the Department of Health within 30 days. And that is a lot sooner than we thought. If we thought they were going to process that application in September, they've indicated to us they will process the application immediately upon receipt. We have our Department of Health survey. It's the regular, unannounced survey that occurs about every 18 months. They were here on February 14th, 15th, and 16th, and the findings with recommendations are as follows. And by the way, very consistent with the number of findings that we usually get in a Department of Health survey. And so you know, there are 3 surveyors. There's the fire marshal, there's the nurse surveyor, and then there's the environment of care infection prevention surveyor. This year there was actually a 4th, and they tacked on to the survey the pharmacy survey. So we had some pharmacists from the State Board of Pharmacy with them as well. The State Board of Pharmacy always does an annual survey. They just came at the same time as the other surveyors. But with respect to those 3 usual surveyors, here's the findings. Our double door to the MRI didn't close correctly, and so we have to make an adjustment to that door. Power strips may be needed to meet new code. We're still doing some work on what that code requirement is and whether it applies in the non-clinical setting. We have no power strips in the clinical setting. We have some power strips in the non-clinical setting, so we're doing some research to see if the fire marshal is correct about saying that we have to have the new UL standard power strips in non-clinical settings. A cover for the oxygen tank storage may be needed. Again, we've been talking to our oxygen supplier, and this is the oxygen farm out back here, whether or not that has to have a shed built over it. We believe it does not, and so we're doing some work on the code there. And we missed 3 of our fire extinguisher checks. Those were all corrected on the day of survey. in the areas of clinical care and infection prevention. We need a policy for cleaning the fans in the patient rooms. If you don't recall, every one of our patient rooms is outfitted with a whole shelf and a fan, because a lot of people like that white noise. We just have to include the fan cleaning in our cleaning policy. We missed some details of our terminal cleaning, where we were observed doing a terminal clean and it didn't exactly match policy, so there's some training that we're doing there. We need to adhere to our personal protective equipment policy with respect to hand washing during glove exchange while we change out PPE. What happens is when you take off your gowns and then when you put a new gown back on, you need to sanitize your hands, and somebody skipped that, was observed skipping that. So again, training. We do such a good job that, you know, we're always going to have to find ways to improve. Our cafe had a hand wash sink that was not accessible because there was some equipment there, so it was hard to get to. So we cleaned that up on date of survey. So that's been resolved. We had 10 strips. The equipment is called Trophon, and a Trophon is a cleaning device for ultrasound probes. And so we test the cleaning solutions of the Trophon with test strips. What had happened was staff had taken, had a box of test strips, and when all the test strips were gone, they refilled the box with new test strips. The problem is that box has an expiration date on it for the old test strips. So we're not going to do that anymore. An outdated container of contrast media had not been discarded. This was in our CT room, so they had taken the bottle of expired contrast media and set it aside from the other contrast media that we used. They should have just thrown it in the garbage. And lastly, our preventive maintenance record. And the facilities committee got an eyeful of what it means to keep track of all the equipment and the preventive maintenance records. We were 6 weeks late on a piece of equipment, and they saw that in the preventive maintenance record. So that's been resolved. That's not a summary. That's not some selected recommendations. That's all of them for the Department of Health Services.
Are there any questions for?
It sounds like really the power strip might cost, that's a May, and then the oxygen tank storage cover may cost. That's probably the most costly. Right.
And I'm going to piggyback on David. Power strips may be needed to meet new code. Why don't I just get them? Why wait?
The new UL power, the new power strips are about $50 to $60 each. And I prefer not to have to spend that.
I'm looking there.
Yeah.
I didn't think they need quite that much.
It's a new UL standard, and again, we don't believe it's necessary in non-employers. And if we do have to build a shed, we'll do that in-house.
I think roughly how many power strips are we talking? Roughly how many power strips are we talking?
I don't know, the facilities.
Ballpark.
I think
I think, well, that's where I was going to say 30. And I feel bad saying 30 because I don't know what the staff were doing right after the survey was going through and inventorying every power strip in the hospital. And then they'll go and take a look at whether or not they need to meet the code. At the same time, we're, as I said, researching the code to make sure that we actually have to have a new power strip in non-clinical areas. And I want to go back to David's question for a minute about the cover for the tanks. We actually talked to Praxair about it. Praxair told us if you guys have to do that, we'll do it for you at no cost. Okay. Yeah, I just put out that.
And what about the other hospitals in terms of power strips? What are they using? What is it?
So
you have to have a different
every hospital has to meet that same standard.
Okay.
We'll try this one.
Okay, now, that's
Other questions?
Is it back to my turn? Or is it John's turn? John, you have a question?
Do you have another question?
I do. Remember when you gave us this executive summary on 340B, drug pricing? Are you gonna talk about that today?
I have not planned on doing it because what we're doing is we're doing an assessment right now, and until we have the assessment back from our drug wholesaler, I won't know what the potential gain is.
Fair enough. That's all. Yeah.
Yes. Commissioner Palmer?
Couple of questions on finances. Please explain operating expenses per adjusted patient day. I don't understand that.
So it's a way to take a look at overall expenses on a volume basis. So we were very busy during the month of January, and if you just take a look at the expenses that we had in January compared to the budget, we were over budget, but you would expect us to be a little over budget given the high census. And so, so you look at a ratio of your expenses per your workload activity, which is adjusted patient days. And just to note, adjusted patient days is a calculation that's done to factor in your outpatient volume into your inpatient statistic. It's just a way to measure the total activity of the hospital.
Could you make a general comment about how our inspection went this year compared to last year? Did we improve this year?
I would say our inspection this year was on par with the last 3 inspections that we've had. Very similar, on par. Yeah, there will always be something found by a surveyor.
I have a couple more questions after others.
Anybody else have any questions of CEO Parker? Okay, Jean?
I'm impressed with 630 households having been contacted with that door to door. I was curious how many employees were involved in that process.
8. We went out in 4 teams of 2 each.
What were the hours?
We hit the neighborhoods at about 10:30, 11, and we were back here at 3.
Ideal.
okay. Nobody came to my door.
We didn't hit all of them. We didn't hit all of
One
them.
of my comment is that I think one of the reasons that we have was effective, it was an hour inside in the SORA. That was great. It was published in the press.
I was very pleased that they did that. They were a little reticent at first to put that memo out there, but then they did it, and it was great.
Commissioner Palmer?
On the fire extinguisher checks, as I recall, the reason that they were not checked was because they're in kind of hidden location. And so if they're in a hidden location, that means that when they're needed, maybe others can't. I wondered if it might be good to have kind of a drill of where is your fire extinguisher that you would go to from your work, or some kind of way of practicing those, getting at those hidden fire extinguishers.
Thank you for that. I'll make a note. Thank you.
That's all I have.
Okay. We've done communications. We're going to back up to the executive session now since Commissioner Spikers is here. So I guess we have to excuse the public. And I think our financial man is going to be your host.
Please, you can wait.
So he'll show you where you can first.
Yeah.
Well,
You're going to announce
So funny cat videos.
or it's what?
30 minutes, is
Yes, it is a 30-minute meeting. Thanks.
And if we think we'll run long, I'll go in.